We all know that having a sharper and more defined jawline is probably one of the best aesthetics you can have. And after taking a totally unbiased facial analysis that's not led by unhealthy beauty standards or anything,
chin maxing.
It told me, yeah, you know what you need? More chin. And luckily, I'm not the only one, because recently on Douyin, people started injecting these unknown substances into their chin just to stretch it into that super sharp V-shaped aesthetic. Except what started as a sharper chin started uncontrollably getting longer and longer, which is how millions of people started ending up with these so-called deformed bubble chins.
Oh, that's so... Oh my god, why?
Which is how millions of people started ending up
why are they doing this?
With these so-called deformed bubble chins, where your chin just starts drooping and growing downwards. And honestly, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Now, how did this all start? You see, in traditional Chinese facial aesthetics theory, there's this thing called the golden ratio of the face. Basically, they divide your face into 3 horizontal sections, and in an ideal face, each section is supposed to take up roughly about 1/3 of your facial length. You know, so all sections are in harmony together, okay? Everything needs to be harmonized nowadays. Now, guess which section everybody suddenly became obsessed with? Yeah, the bottom half.
Oh.
No, the bottom half of your face. Because apparently your chin isn't just your chin anymore. It's now responsible for determining whether your face looks balanced, long enough, slim enough, feminine enough. You name it. And there's one celebrity that gets brought up over and over again.
Happy 3K
Angela Baby. She's basically treated as a blueprint for perfect facial proportions. Heart-shaped face, sharp jawline, balanced profile, everything matching those so-called...
Okay, bro, her chin is not that sharp.
Heart-shaped face...
Hello? She's a little liar, bro. It's oval. She's a liar.
Sharp jawline, balanced profile, everything matching those so-called golden ratio measurements that everyone's obsessing over. Whether she's had plastic surgery or not, that's been debated for years. That's besides the point. The point is that she's become the reference image everyone is chasing. So if you naturally have a square-shaped face or a pear face, congratulations. You failed before the game even started.
What?
And I'm not even exaggerating either. Because some of these beauty companies advertise that having a short chin disrupts the proportions of the upper and lower face. So you gotta make sure that you have a chin that can slice through anything. And this is why chin augmentation has exploded in popularity over the last few years. It was simple. You inject filler, most commonly hyaluronic acid, once again, into the chin, and it can either push your chin forward, make your face look longer, or create that super pointy V-shaped look that everyone was chasing. It was easy, cheap, convenient, and fast. Since you're not committing to permanent surgery, you're just trying it out. You get a new chin, you post your pictures, and it just slowly goes back to normal. No commitment at all, basically a free trial for your face. So naturally, people loved it. But then after a few months, some people's chins started getting swollen and started growing a bit longer than they'd like. Just a bit. So they went to dissolve the filler. And even afterwards, it just started growing longer and longer, uncontrollably. Their chins just didn't seem to know when to stop. And over time, gravity started pulling it downward until the entire lower half of the face was distorted. Which is what eventually created a new variant of our bubble face disaster. It's like their little brother. The bubble chin effect.
How do you fix that,
Now, of course, people start asking, what is going on? Okay, how is this even possible? Well, according to multiple reports, these people weren't actually getting ordinary filler anymore. Instead, many people ended up having baby face collagen and growth peptides injected into their chins.
But
these were promoted as a newer type of wrinkle removal filler that would supposedly stimulate the person's own cells. Okay, stimulate them to do what exactly?
Okay, wait, so if it helps growth, can you inject it down, you know? Well, I'm just asking for a friend. Like, can you inject it down there? And and then I mean, it's making the chin grow.
下巴党的生长因子现在越来越大，网络能找到帮我解决我这种问题。
You know,
因为
down
我去年在
there.
长沙，做了
In your
2次，
schlong
当
along.
时没有做好。其实我一直在
Thank you,
修复的路上，找不到真正能解决问题。千万要谨慎哈！所有那个产品如果里面有生长因子什么。
Dude, her chin literally looks like a You know, it looks like
什么的，
down.
那就会跟我这样子后悔莫及。
Unlike
No,
normal
I'm not
temporary
injecting it
filler
there,
that
Rui.
just gradually disappears over time, this material
Kinda
behaves
jealous.
completely differently. Instead of being absorbed by the body, it stayed inside the tissue and started shifting around as well as hardening.
Oh, it's just shifting around and hardening, bro. I can't. Ew.
Stimulate this abnormal growth. And combine that with the fact that your chin is constantly moving. Every day you're eating, talking, smiling. You're just making facial expressions. And over time, gravity starts pulling your chin downward and the filler also starts going lower and lower.
我下巴变成这样了，这个是我6年前打的玻尿酸，但是当时第一次。
There's a man who injected his dick with silicone for 6 years. It became basically unusable for sex.
Did it get bigger though? Worth?
做这种东西不太懂，然后也没有做功课，我就去了一个小美容院打的。这已经整整6年了都没有代谢掉。我不知道是因为那个人的技术问题，还是原材料的问题。好的时候，这个下巴也是凹凸不平的。然后不好的时候，比如说我熬夜啊，或者说上火，它这里就会肿肿胀胀的。我昨天晚上是喝了酒。
Wait, hold on.
那个人的技术问题还是原材料的问题。好的时候，这个下巴也是凹凸不平的。
When it's good, the chin is also uneven. Then when it's not good, for example, I stayed up late or got angry, it's gonna be swollen here. I drank and stayed up last night.
醒来这里肿的跟鸡蛋一样，而且很硬，就是异物感很明显。而且我没有办法张大嘴说话，也不能笑了，只要一用力。
Oh, she can't laugh anymore. If you push on it, it gets bigger.
不然它就是半开的，因为这很重。刚刚我吃了消炎药了，但不知道有没有用。你们有碰到过这种情况吗？这该怎么办？
And it somehow gets even worse because some people started developing bone resorption. Basically, the bone inside your chin can start thinning away, and this is exactly what happened to a Chinese influencer named Yaki. At just 16 years old, Yaki roughly paid 1,000 RMB for 2 chin injections.
Wait, why? Why would you do that? She looked
At just 16
good. Yo, she looks fine, man.
years old,
Oh
Yaki
my
roughly
God.
paid 1,000 RMB for 2 chin injections. And
Why
it
would
was
you do
simple,
that?
hyaluronic acid, the same thing everybody else was getting. It
Nah.
was safe, and immediately afterward,
She's fine.
everything looked great. Her face looked noticeably longer, and the natural V shape was there. But then something happened that, at first, she was actually happy about, because the filler didn't go away. You see, hyaluronic acid is supposed to be absorbed by the body and dissolve after a couple months. And months passed, and her chin didn't change at all. At first, she thought, wow, what an amazing deal, right? Wait, everybody else has to keep paying for maintenance, but mine is still here? Talk about the worst buy one, get one free deal. Because eventually her chin slowly started changing shape. It started swelling really bad, and she experienced constant itching and redness. And slowly her chin started going downward. And real quick, this is all very dangerous, we know that, but having your data leaked is also bad. If you Google yourself right now, you might find your name, your address, all exposed by these sketchy data brokers. And this is why Incogni is a lifesaver. It tracks down all your personal data that's in the wild and removes it for you
I'm not
automatically.
sponsored, but it's good.
Incogni is basically like your cleanup crew for emails, addresses, numbers.
I use it. It's good. It's good.
Can reappear. They keep sending removal requests.
You don't want the yandere to find your
biggest
address,
their
bro. You gotta
custom
log in.
removals feature. Let's say
Or
you
maybe
find a
you do,
random
I don't
website
know.
that's exposing your info. You literally just copy the link, paste it in Incogni, and their privacy team tackles all the removals for you. This is one of the most useful
but
things to have
I'm still
if you're
waiting for
always
them.
chronically online like me. And through their portal, you see the whole process with full transparency. It's risk-free too. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee if you're not feeling it. So if you don't want randoms having access to your personal info, you can check out Incogni using the link in the description and support your boy using code Wonny for 60% off the annual plan. Just go to incogni.com/Wonny. Thank you, Incogni, for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back into it.
Thank you, Wonny. I will use your code.
Longer and longer, day after day, and it kept bulging, which
it's
eventually
like
led her to that bubble chin appearance. This damage started affecting how her mouth actually functioned, and her lower lip wouldn't even open properly anymore. So for several days, her mouth was essentially stuck in one position. She couldn't eat really, and moving or talking with her mouth was almost impossible. And she was stuck living with it for years as her bones in the chin kept thinning and weakening. And netizens were like, why doesn't she just remove it? Like, why doesn't she just dissolve the filler?
Yeah.
Well, that assumes that what's inside her chin is actually filler. A lot of these bubble chin cases happened when people went to these unregulated beauty salons who use cheap counterfeit products. So if you don't actually know what was injected, how are you supposed to dissolve it? Whatever filler was injected could start spreading to multiple layers of tissue and even start mixing with other components of your chin. And every single time doctors cut into the area to do like a repair, it would create another injury. So, you know, you'd think people would just take a step back for a bit, okay? Just stop this, right? Unfortunately, it got even crazier because people who ended up with these bubble chins decided to take matters into their own hands to remove it themselves with scissors. Because there's another case that came out in June 2025. This one genuinely sounds like a horror movie. It involved a woman in Nanjing named Miss Deng. Now, she was already trying to repair a previously failed bubble chin injection. She spent years trying to fix it. She searched on Douyin, Xiaohongshu. Worst possible decision, by the way. And then she kept seeing posts from this one clinic page called Suzhou Yumei Medical Aesthetics. Every single patient they did had perfect results. Almost too perfect. I mean, if you take a look at their profile, they specifically advertise experience in repairing bubble chins involving these so-called growth peptides. Not only that, but they claimed that they had specialized filler repair technology. Foreign substances stuck in your face? Easy. Complicated repairs that nobody wants to touch? This guy lives for it. So Ms. Deng traveled there for a consultation, and the price? 20,000 yuan. So definitely not cheap at all. And after a couple of weeks of thinking, she agreed to it, and this is where everything started going downhill. I'll explain this in the least gruesome way possible, okay? Basically, they took a hot needle, and then they started using it to drag her chin back and forth. Yeah, I'm not a surgeon, but, you know, if somebody tells me that they're going to take a hot burning needle and scrape it on my chin back and forth, I think I'll just live with it, honestly. Just 3 days later, large blisters started forming around her chin. And the doctors saw this, saw what was happening, and they basically told her, that's normal. Just trust the process. And this is where they sent her home with instructions and Chinese ointment. Except the instructions they gave her to treat it at home were to use scissors to cut it off herself. Yeah, this is absolutely insane. And not even medical scissors either. So every day she cleaned the wound and would just start trimming at it every single day. And the wound, it kept getting bigger. And then signs of infection started appearing. And bro, despite all of that, they kept reassuring her that if she kept cutting away at it would heal. I mean, it makes sense, right? Your body will start adapting to it as you trim it. Reverse curse technique, yeah. This continued for another month and a half, and at that point, her chin deteriorated so badly that a large hole had actually formed in her chin. And it left Miss Deng with a really massive scar that spanned over 6 centimeters across her chin. This was honestly brutal because she even said that this completely destroyed her life for those 6 months. And on June 17th, a reporter accompanied Miss Deng to go back to Yumei Medical Aesthetics to see what was up. You'd expect some kind of explanation or some accountability. Instead, when they arrived, the doors were locked and the windows were shut. Sitting at the entrance was a notice saying that the business is currently undergoing renovations and was temporarily closed. Of course it was. I mean, it's always renovations. They're just renovating how to cover up this case. But man, the timing was comical because the clinic that just announced that they had revolutionary filler repair technology literally just shut down in less than a year. And this is where people started looking at these failed cases of these bubble chins and these filler injections. And they said, you know why there are so many failed cases of these injections? You know why bubble chins even exist? Because they're not permanent. So they moved on to using chin implants. Basically, a lot of people saw what was happening with these bubble chins. They did not learn. And many of them gradually shifted to getting actual implants. It's not liquid, right? It's not filler. It's literally permanent. During a procedure, the doctor will make a small incision inside of the mouth rather than outside because this will avoid scarring. That's one of the reasons why these chin implants are being marketed as being discreet. You just choose the implant, and then it's directly placed into your jaw to either push it more forward or just completely change your side profile. Finally, the perfect solution. No more revisiting the clinic every couple months. No more bubble chins. Instead, you just install one permanent chin.
No.
But the reality is, it can get even worse because the implant can start absorbing into your bone. This is where many cases of bone erosion started happening because the implant started sinking into the bone itself. Not just that, but this patient here actually developed the protruding teeth because the implant was severely compressing the roots of the person's teeth. And the implant started pulling the entire mouth outward.
Oh
yeah, that is
God.
insane. Yeah, this is one of the reasons why most hospitals don't even do implant-based chin augmentation. And it's not because the doctors
guys,
can't do it.
Just don't touch your
risks
chin.
Are just way too high and complicated. Of course, not every chin injection ends up with someone developing a bubble chin. There are legitimate medical professionals. But it's slowly becoming harder and harder for the average person to tell the difference. You can spend hours researching, looking at reviews, before and after photos, and you could still not even know what exactly you're walking into. And if anything goes wrong, good luck fighting a company funded by millions. I mean, what are they gonna do? Investigate themselves? Yeah, they're gonna do everything they can to cover it up. So yeah, once again, another bubble variant has emerged, and hopefully this time it doesn't get as bad as before, and
just
people,
do plastic surgery instead.
Stay away from it, because at this point, it's becoming like Pokemon evolutions. And taking a look back at my facial analysis from earlier, yeah, it does tell me that I will benefit from a longer and sharper V-line chin. But it also says that I will look great being bald. At this point, they're just trying to get rid of the competition.
Dude, I don't know if I'd believe that, man.